Hey everybody, here for Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 8, episode 16. It starts off with Candy Todd and Mama Joyce. They're at okay, Nyla. Okay. they're at they're at Candy's prenatal appointment to check on the baby. And they're just in there having casual talk, and then it kind of turned awkward when they started talking about pregnancy sex and push gifts and all of that. So, they started talking about what position Candy should do it in while Mama Joyce was sitting there. Mama Joyce is a little prissy. So then when they started talking about the push gift, Mama Joyce was like, I wish, sit down, girl. So Mama Joyce is like, well, diamonds have always been good. Like, just trying to figure out what gift Candy should get as a push gift. I never really knew about a push gift until I saw an episode of Tamar and Vince, and even then I didn't even know that it was a thing. I just figured a baby is the gift, but I guess it's a gift for having the baby. I don't know. I just always thought it was a thing that rich people do because that's what they could do. So Kim is discussing with her business partner Art trying to figure out how to get down to business. She was focusing on Cynthia's commercial and the final cuts of it. And then Art brought up not Candy, Kenya's little pilot reel for Life Tours On. And Kim is like, at this point, I really don't want anything to do with Kenya. It's gone to a whole other level of like disrespect, and I don't need to work with somebody like that. Like, you came to me for a business opportunity and you basically blew it by disrespecting my family and whatnot, and I'm just over it. I refuse to work with somebody like that. And I'm like, see, Kim is professional. And the thing that pisses me off with this whole Kim and Kenya thing is that people swear that Kim is being condescending or Kim is always reading Kenya. And I'm like, I don't feel like Kim is condescending, nor do I feel like she's always reading Kenya. I feel like Kim reads Kenya when the time is appropriate. Like, she calls Kenya out on her BS, which is something a lot of the girls didn't really do. They kind of just let Kenya go on and on and on and do what she wanted to do until she pushed them over the edge. But Kim is like, ever since Kim started calling her on her BS, that's when Kenya had a problem with her. But she ain't have no problem going to her for a business opportunity. And since Kenya met Kim, she was rubbing Kim the wrong way. So I'm like, all these like Kenya stands, I don't really understand how y'all could stand for somebody who's like all the way wrong all across the board. But whatever. So Phaedra is meeting up with her lawyer Ronnie. I think her name was Ronnie or Ron. Ronnie. So she wants to file for divorce. Apollo doesn't want to. And they're just discussing like the steps, the legal steps to take to either file for divorce or not file for divorce. So, I guess Phaedra is like considering finally taking her boys to go see Apollo. Oh, these are fuzzy now. She's considering taking her boys to see Apollo, but Ronnie is basically saying that he'll be in a different facility, where I think the same facility that Teresa Giudice husband either has gone to or is going to, but it's somewhere in Jersey. So she's like, well, I probably consider taking them now because it'll probably be less restrictions, less of a headache and whatnot. So, I'm not mad at Phaedra for being skeptical about her kids going into prison and seeing their dad because, like I've been saying, I know firsthand what that feels like. And prison is not a place for kids. But then again, you do have to think, okay, that is their dad. They do need to see him because his absence in the house is felt, and phone calls and letters can only do so much. So, but I feel like if Phaedra didn't feel like it was good enough for them to go to the prison that's in Kentucky, that's her decision as a mom. So, but if they feel like the prison in Jersey would be much better, like a much better place, like no prison is really good to visit a family member in. But if there's one that's like better than the other, like not less restrictions, but less harsh and more clean and more family friendly, then so be it. So I mean, I guess because he's in Jersey, Phaedra decided to let the boys visit him. So let's see. So Kenya, Matt, and Aunt Lori are all at More Manor every single time. Sit down. So Kenya, Matt, and Aunt Lori are at More Manor. They're just taking looks at it to see what room is going where and like the finishing touches and whatnot. So when Matt, I think, walked away, Aunt Lori and Kenya started talking to each other about the relationship. And, Kenya is worried about the age difference between her and Matt. But she feels like he's very mature. And, he likes her and she wants to see where it goes. She wants to take it slow because she really likes him. And, I mean, I like Matt for Kenya, but I also feel like Matt, because he's young and because Kenya is manipulative, that he's going to be her yes man. Like anything he says, anything she says or wants to do, he's going to be like, yes, yes, yes. Like even when she's wrong, he's going to agree with her. And it's like, for y'all to be in a relationship, you can't, you got to call her out on her BS. And I just feel like right now, just from what I'm seeing, Matt is going to be her yes man. But she also said that him and her got into like an argument. And he was like, you know what? This must be real because, I could have left, but I don't want to. I want to stay and work this out because you know what it feels like for somebody to walk out of your life, but I want to be here with you. You don't know what it feels like for someone to stay. So that's what kind of made her feel like maybe, he is the right guy for her. And I'm like, I'm happy for Kenya, but I just wish Kenya would find some business of her own instead of getting into everybody else's. Maybe she'll stay out of a lot of arguments, who knows? So now we get to Portia and Lauren, and they're meeting up, and, Portia's dog basically crapped all up in the house or whatever. So, she's cleaning it up, and they're discussing Jamaica and everything that went on. So, I think they were discussing Oliver too, and, Portia is like, he came out there to be with me, to spend time with me, and I thought that was really big of him. I'm enjoying his company, whatever. So then Portia is like, she wants to get back to business of her own and do a photo shoot for, she has Naked Hair, which is a hair, a brand of hair that she has. And now she wants to do naked lingerie. So she's just trying to figure out the plans and whatnot, how she wants to do it. So she has some ideas, and she even wants to use Cynthia as one of her models in the commercial. So, she's just trying to figure it out, but she kept saying that it's not set in cement when I think she meant to say cement. And I'm like, Lord, Portia, you are so blonde. But you know what? We love you. So Cynthia and Kim meet up to watch the final touches of the commercial. And the commercial came out nice. It was funny. It was funny to watch, and it was good to see like the behind the scenes and everything. So they were just discussing like the final product and everything and the business and whatnot. So Cynthia was pleased. Kim did her thing. And, Cynthia, I'm sure, wanted to use Kenya's ideas, but Kenya never gave her, the opportunity nor the time to do it. And, of course, Kenya wants to make it seem like Cynthia was wrong for not giving her time when Cynthia had a small window of time to get the commercial and everything done. So when she gave you the opportunity, you didn't want to come because you wanted to use Matt and More Manor as the reason why you couldn't come, when you really just did not want to be sitting at the same table with Kim. That's what it was. So Phaedra and Candy are talking and whatnot, and they're discussing Candy's pregnancy. They discuss, the Jamaica trip, and Phaedra was like, oh, I know you're gonna have the baby soon. I bought you nipple cream and whatnot. Candy is like, it's been so long since I've like breastfed or anything. I don't even remember what you're supposed to do. And Phaedra is like, well, nipple cream is a godsend, and it'll help when your nipples are dry and you breastfeed, and it'll help ease the pain. And Candy was kind of making faces. I'm like, listen, Candy, when you had that baby, if you plan on breastfeeding, Lancinol cream, lanolin cream is a godsend. Because when I had my son and I started to breastfeed, I hated life. If you ever want to know what breastfeeding feels like, take your nipples and clamp something to your nipples and just let it go and hang from your nipples. That's how breastfeeding feels. It feels like somebody is taking your nipple and just stretching it. That's what breastfeeding feels like. But you get used to it. And also, if you have good nipple cream, like lanolin cream, Lancino lanolin cream. I remember I did a mommyhood video years back. And I showed the cream that you refer back to that mommy. I forgot which mommyhood it was, but I know I had on black and I had a fro. I remember because I looked cute in that video. But refer back to my mommyhood videos and you'll see the nipple cream that I'm talking about. If you are a new mom, if you're already a mom, then you know. But if you are a new mom, I advise you to get that lanolin cream. It is a godsend. And it'll really help with the discomfort of breastfeeding. That's my little mommy tip. I had to throw that in there. But yeah, I'm like, yes, Phaedra. See, Phaedra be knowing. So then they started discussing Jamaica, and she was telling Candy about all that happened out there, you know, about Nene returning and Sheree and Bob being together and the Mershu and then Kenya and Kim. So, you know, she's basically filling Candy in, and Candy's like, well, I'm glad I didn't go to witness all this drama. I'm like, Candy, you know you a little bothered you ain't go. But anyway, so now we're at the naked shoot, and basically the main things that happened was that they were trying to get shots outside. They were trying to get shots like to catch the lighting outside, but it started to get dark, so they were losing the light. And then Cynthia came, and you know, she's like, me and Portia had our beef, you know, for a split second, but we squashed it, and I'm glad to be helping her and, you know, working with her on this photo shoot. So Cynthia has not lost it as a model. She looked beautiful in the at the photo shoot. Like, she looked very sexy. She was smizing. It was just awesome. And I'm like, yes. And then not Phaedra, Portia with that body, yaddy yaddy. Her and Cynthia, Lord have mercy. I gotta get it together, and I gotta get my body looking like them when I'm in my 30s and then in my 40s, because I'm like, Jesus Christ. So Phaedra finally takes the trip to visit Apollo in Jersey. And, you know, she said she's going to wait to tell the boys when they're on the way there because she wants them to be excited. So she's just worried about how the trip will go. And, you know, she's telling them, hey, we're going on an adventure today. We're going to go see Daddy. So, you know, it was a long drive there. She had to fly to Philly. And then her driver had to take her to Jersey, which Jersey and Philly is not that far from each other. They're like maybe an hour and a half apart. So when they got there, you know, cameras weren't allowed in. Phaedra spent time with Apollo. They came back to the car. Phaedra was like, the visit was good, but the kids are antsy. You know, they're little kids. So she was like, they just couldn't keep still. But, you know, overall it was a good visit. And, you know, they were asking how Apollo looked. And she said he looks good. He has a mohawk. And, you know, it looks like he's been working out. Like, he looks okay. So, you know, Aiden was like, I didn't really like his mohawk. Like, you know, he didn't really like his father's hair. I'm like, that is an honest little boy. He will tell it like it is. So when it came to bringing up the divorce papers, and he was like, he's not signing the papers. And she's like, it's always something. Like, you know, I bring you on this trip, all things are good, but you still won't sign the papers. You know, she's like, some things never change with people. And I'm like, well, at some point, y'all gonna have to figure it out. Because Apollo was the one that said, I think he was the one that said he wanted a divorce. So why is it now you making a big deal about the divorce when you wanted it? You called it. So, you know, Phaedra just wants to get the divorce and move on with her life, because I'm pretty sure she doesn't plan on being a prison wife for the next, how many years he got? When he went to jail? Last year? So he got like a good, no, he didn't go to jail last year. Was it the year before? Yeah, he got like a good 6 years left now, I think. So, But what was the last scene? The last scene was Matt and Kenya, and they're just discussing their relationship, and if they're on the same page about settling down and, you know, taking a relationship to the next level. What? You gotta wait a little bit. So they're just trying to figure out if they're on the same page with settling down, and you know, maybe talking about the future, if marriage is in the cards, or if, you know, just whatever level they're going to take the relationship. So, girl. So, you know, that was basically the episode. Pretty okay episode. But the next episode is the season finale. And I can't wait to catch it. So, I mean, we'll see. And then the reunion is right after. So, I mean, this was a quick... This season was a little bit quicker than other seasons. Normally, the season would just be going off like in April somewhere, like mid-April. So, I'm like, okay. But this season was kind of like... It was kind of boring. But it was okay. I mean, it was enough drama. But... It's like, this season was annoying, basically. So, that was Real Housewives of Atlanta. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And I will see you guys in the next video.